Good afternoon, everyone. This is our little next YouTube video. I'm outside, so I apologize about the wind. This is 2014 Kia Soul, and I put a hitch in the back. I will put the information in the title and in the description of what hitch I put on there. It's class 1. They do make 2 different variations, but when I looked on eTrailer, they only listed one as a custom fit. The other one was not listed, although I believe it can be installed. I'll see if I can list that in the information. Okay. These are the ramps I used to do the install. I think I paid $40 for them. Harbor Freight didn't have anything when I went there, so I believe I went to AutoZone and I paid $40 for them. Okay, and pause the video, try to get underneath the car, give you a general description of some of the issues and problems I had, because nothing went smoothly. Okay, you guys, I'm underneath the car. This is the driver's side, and there's 2 factory nuts and holes that are installed in the box of this rear frame part, and they're welded in the inside. And for the life of me, I could not get these screws to thread in. I thought I had the wrong size that came from eTrailer, but actually they were the correct size. Just the threads were so boogered up. Not sure if it was excess paint or rust. So a good idea might be to get a spare bolt, same thread pitch, pattern, size, and shave it down in the front of the grinder or something so you can chase the threads. Unless you got a tap, that'll work there. That'll be even better. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see the box. Actually, let's see if I can. There's the box there, the bottom of the box. And if you go forward, you can't see it because it's being blocked. I'll give you a shot on the other side. But there is a box, like a ladder box on a pickup truck there. It's pretty tough. This side, oh, excuse me, I'm not so good at this. Sorry about that. It took me a while. I couldn't get it to, and when I did, the rear one threaded first easily enough, so I said, let me go thread one on the other side. Difficulties on the other side, I'll have to explain that. But the rear one threaded okay. The front one here was actually tight. The front one is where the small portion of the heavy metal plate is at. Where the larger portion is, that's the rear one. Okay. The fit was good on the hitch itself. It was not poor or sloppy, not like that. Well done. You got some play, movement, so you can move around a bit if something's going on. So that part was very good. I'm going to say it took me a good 45 minutes to get these 2 screws on, back and forth, upside down, till I became nauseous. I know it's not a great description, but we're going to look around a little bit, okay? Okay. Let's see if I can get the light on the over there. And there is the trailer hitch part, and goes underneath the muffler. We're going to pause the video and take you to the other side where I had different type of difficulties. Okay, you guys, it's a little difficult for me. I'm trying to hold the camera with one hand. You guys can see the nuts here, and this one here. See, it's loose. What happened was, both the front and the rear on this side, the nuts were tacked in. They were not, how would we say, they were not welded in. So when I went to tighten the bolts in, because the boogered up threads, they came kind of tight. And both the nuts actually gave loose inside. And I kind of had a few choice words. Either way, it was not a pleasant thing, pleasant sight, pleasant feeling. I just kept thinking to myself, okay, what's next? I don't know. Do I have to use some L braces, fat, what? I can tell you this one here, if I can get there, because I'm having a hard time. This one right here, I had to drill the frame. There's already a hole on this side, so I cut the bolt and the nut fell inside, and I had to drill from the other side. I'm going to show you what I did there. In case you guys run into the same problem I'm running into, maybe you guys can figure out what you want to do. I'm going to have to cut the other one off later on, the one in the rear,
I did do something for the rear to keep it balanced so it doesn't go up and down. To aid it, I'll show you what I did for now. But the front one, I had to wind up drilling from the other side. Alright, so let's pause the video, wife's calling, and then we'll get to the inside, the other side, what I did. Okay, this is where I said I drilled straight through the frame. And I did put a support for up and down in the rear portion, or closer to the hitch itself. Do I have my screwdriver with me? I do. Let me go get that. Excuse me, sorry. Either way, here you have, excuse me, here you have, if I can't do this, right here you have a hole with another nut, which is that other one that's for 2016, which I thought would fit here. I didn't buy it because it didn't say it was rated, but there it is anyway. Here is the one where I had to go straight through the frame, and there is that square ladder frame I was talking about. Okay, I went back and forth, and that was option B, drill right through the frame. Well, actually option B was like use a hole saw or something to get to that nut to tighten it from the inside, and I'm like, why am I going to make a larger hole? I decided to just drill through the frame the best I can. I had a very difficult time to show you what the back of my truck looks like. Kind of give you an idea how hard I was working to get this thing done. Between the gas tank and the ladder frame there, that box section, it's very tight space. I couldn't use my M12 fuel hex impact wrench. It was too tight with a bit. I had to actually go buy something, and I'll show you that in a second. And then there I just used an L brace. I drilled through the metal, pre-drilled. And that rear part here, you can see I was trying to drill the hole for the rear bolt. It's like 4 times stronger than where the front bolt is at, that rear section. They really did stiffen up this frame. And the metal here is very good. It's very high tensile steel. It is not the cheap stuff. I was trying to drill through it forever. I had to pretty much just take out everything, my whole bag of tricks, and go for it. I got it on there. I'm happy with it. We're going to discuss a couple other things when we get to the top, okay? Let's go to the top and take a look at my disaster. Okay, here you can see the hitch in place. And she ain't going nowhere, so I'm safe with that. Everything came out lovely. I do want to pre-drill the other side and put a bolt through like I did in the front of the other side. That would be probably the safest fix if you guys have the same problem I had. Okay? Now let's go to the top. The hanger came up pretty easy as long as you use some kind of lubrication. But the threads, the boogered up threads, was really the big deal. This is 2018, it's a 2014 vehicle, and that was the big issue. They didn't say anything about chasing. They just said clean it with oil and stuff, brush, whatever, but I don't think that was going to be satisfactory. Those threads have to be chased. Okay, you guys, I apologize about the wind. I am going to try to speak up. Hopefully the recording comes out here. I had a serious amount of problems. I had to use a bunch of drill bits. This one, I also have a box of the old school style drill bits that are not impact duty like this style, that have this 1/4 inch hex here that I use with this 1/4 inch hex impact M12 fuel driver. And I wind up using a good 6 of the other ones, or a good 4 of the other ones, and a good 5 of these to get the hole. I really had to start and go up in very small increments. I had very large difficulty because drill bits don't work very good at an angle. When you're 90 degrees straight head on like this, excuse me, like this against the material, it's fine. But you start going at a slight angle, you have difficulty. The drill bits just do not work right. I had all kinds of difficulty. I had so much difficulty I had to buy this tool right here. This Milwaukee M12 right angle drill. I'm gonna do a small review on that, so you guys get an idea of if you want it or not. I really didn't want it. I liked the idea. I didn't want to spend 80 bucks on it, but I wouldn't have got the job done without it, because I had to drill through the frame, and there was a very small gap between the gas tank and the box frame itself. I could not fit the impact wrench despite its small size with a bit on it. I had to actually get a right angle drill. I called a few people, nobody had one. Now everybody knows I'm gonna have one. They've been calling me when they need one. Either way, it was a very difficult process. Like I explained in the driver's side, just things in one thread. I had to wind up going to the grinder and shave down the first few threads at a slight angle so I could get it to bite and get in there. And it's kind of tight. I was afraid one of the bolts was gonna break loose on the welds. But on this side, seems like the driver's side, somebody did the welds. On the passenger side, seems like they just tacked them in place, and that's where they gave. They were tight on the passenger side, but I felt the give right away a couple times. I couldn't even torque it down very good. Either way, the biggest problem you're going to have is the boogered up threads. So you want to take care of that the best you can before you even start installing. Make sure your nuts actually thread fine into the, your bolts thread fine into the nuts. Otherwise, you're going to be upside down. You might get nauseous like me, get sick, have difficulty and not get your setup in. So I'm trying to save you guys time. I went through all the difficulties, so hopefully I can save you guys time. You guys saw the first parts where I had the drill on the driver's side, and I will be re-drilling the other side. I do have a nice temporary setup for lift so it doesn't go up and down. I am not worried about it moving. I'm only going to be carrying no more than 500 pounds. This vehicle has class 1 rating of about 1,000 pounds. That includes payload, everything in the car, including persons. And now you got the weight of the hitch itself also. So 500 pounds is about the most I feel safely carrying. Well, I'm not going to have too much difficulty braking, and I'm going to have to keep some distance and be cautious and take wide turns and stuff like that. I want to get a 4x6 trailer. 4x7 is a little bit large. Okay. The only two other things that I want to show is on this vehicle, if I was going to buy one of those Lowe's trailers, one of those carry-on trailers, a 4x6, it would be actually a drop down. I think the hitch is about 10-11 inches, and this keeps the ball at that height, which is where you want it, where you can keep the trailer pretty level so you don't have a lot of tongue weight, a lot of pressure on the receiver itself, on the ball. 200 pounds rated on the ball. If you keep it level, it will probably be not very much, so you won't have any issues. The tractor farm style small 3x5 trailer we got here actually goes up. So I bought this one first thinking that all of them going to be similar, the same, and I found out that's not the case. I've been doing a lot of running around back and forth to Lowe's, looking, checking online, because I originally wanted to get the 3.5x5, and when I went there I was like, boy, that's like it's really tiny. With a 4x6, at least you can fit some plywood in there. You can actually take the gate off on the 4x6 carry-on trailer with the wire mesh. It has a ramp. You can actually take the ramp off. Okay, you have to go, I believe, to the left side. There's a lot of information on each trailer about the accessories for the hitch itself. The one I have is made by Draw-tite. The other one that I wanted to get, I think it was made by Curt C11419 or something like that. And I wanted it because it had a ring around the outside of the hitch, but when I look at it, it really is not making much of a difference. Being that this is a full-length bar and the Curt has a metal, a flat bar that's bent a long way, I'm not sure which one is better. I know they recommended that you use some kind of a swing strap or some kind of strap for accessories on the Curt. On this one, they didn't need it. It might be because that long square tubing going all the way across instead of having that metal flat piece on the driver's side. Okay, want to wish you guys better luck than I had. I definitely did soldier on to get it in place, and I hope things work out for you better than me. But just in case you get into trouble, you have ideas to look at. All right, see you guys in the next one. Bye.